Welcome to Beautifully Rebellious. Tune in as we challenge the status quo, unlock mindset secrets, and inspire you to live outside the box. I'm your host, Erin Burr, and let's dive on in. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy you're here. So, how many of y'all have a vision board? I for sure do. I've talked about it numerous times. I would love to show a picture of it on the YouTube video, but I am not in a position to be recording a visual right now. So, in due time, that is a work in progress right now, but in the meantime, I'll just tell you about my vision board. So my vision board is not exactly the stereotypical vision board. I used to create them yearly, just the same way that kind of everyone else does, where your vision board is your vision for the year. And I kind of found that I didn't really follow through with it very often. The last year, I ironically felt like half the vision board came to be was the year 2020, the year that we were basically in lockdown. But I still did see ways that my vision board came to be. And I mean, that was also the year that I began doing my personal growth journey and really diving into manifesting and without even knowing law of attraction and everything like that. So maybe that played a part in it. I do not know. And maybe I think also just the personal growth and changing my mindset kind of helped me see things on my vision board in a different kind of way. So maybe it was like, I'm trying to think of something. I can't entirely remember that vision board, but just for an example, maybe it was a vacation on the beach or like a trip to the beach. And granted, maybe on the vision board it was, a nice Hawaii beach, something like that. But in real life, it was a Washington beach, which is drastically different, much colder, but the idea is still there. And that got me to start seeing vision boards and how they come to be in a different way. And that, first of all, it's important with a vision board to see the little steps towards the big vision. So again, maybe the big vision is to be on a beach in Hawaii, but the small steps to it is a Washington beach. And maybe then, maybe it's the Washington Coast Beach, which is a legit beach with the ocean, just a bit colder. And then maybe it's, a day at Alki, which is also a technical beach, but it's, with the Puget Sound, I think, and not quite an ocean, but it is warmer in the summertime. So making those baby steps, which I think helps builds the faith and believing for the vision. But that was a little bit of a sidetrack. My vision board is no longer a yearly vision board. It is a life vision board. So I don't have to change it because I created a vision board based off of the things that I want in my life. And I personally think this is the way to go for vision boards because, well, that's kind of the whole idea, is that you have a vision for your life and then you are working towards these various goals throughout your lifetime. So why am I even talking about vision boards? Well, it's not because we're going to make a vision board, not at all. But I want to talk about an alternative to vision boards. I still think vision boards are great, but not everyone is into crafting. Not everyone really has a collection of magazines to, pick and choose things out of. And let's be real, I'll be honest, creating a vision board, the idea seems fun, and then when you get into it, it's kind of daunting and a little frustrating sometimes. So there is an alternative to this, and I actually think the alternative is something that even if you do create a vision board, that you should still do the alternative. And this is called scripting. Scripting is basically a written version of a vision board, but vision boards are like, it's a picture of the things that you want to attain. That's kind of the way you look at it and think that, you should look at it and think like, all right, this is what I have, blah, blah, blah. But we often look at it like, these are our goals. I'm going to work towards that. Where scripting is done in the present tense. And what I mean by that is you're writing down the things that you want to have, that you want to achieve, the life that you envision for yourself, but you're doing it in present tense. So instead of looking at your vision board and saying, I want to own a house like this, you're scripting about how you already own your dream house and what it looks like inside and how it makes you feel and so forth. It's a very simple difference, but it is key, and I think it is also the thing that takes it from an idea to reality. And so I think that everyone should do scripting if they do have a vision for their lives, and I think we should all have a vision. So if you don't, let's start there. But there are some very key things to scripting. Before you sit down with your journal and start doing it, make sure you know these things, or else you're kind of just wasting your time. So, like I said, scripting is written in present tense, as in you've already accomplished those things or you've already attained them. It basically takes your vision board from desires to things that you have acquired. It is not, though, mindless writing. Like, you're not just writing down, ideas or things just I can't say the other word. I could, but you know what I'm trying to say. You can't do it without any real intention, basically. It requires you to be intentional, and it requires you also to be consistent. You can't just do it once and call it a day. It's actually helpful if you do it multiple times throughout the day, multiple times throughout the week. If you can't do it, doing it multiple times throughout the day is easily a hard thing to do. Maybe you do it morning and night before you go to work or school. But at the very least, I say try to do it every single day, once a day, whether that's in the morning or at night before you go to bed. Just make sure that you do it, because this repetition is so important to help reprogram the mind. Basically, the way things work is whenever we want to manifest into our reality, we first have to create it in our mind. So an idea, a thought, whatever it is, and then you rehearse it over and over and over again, because the mind doesn't know a difference between thought and reality. So as you keep rehearsing it in your mind, it becomes something that just is true, and then your mind begins to see it as the truth. And another thing you have to remember to do when you're scripting is that you have to have your emotions involved. It can't just be, I want to buy a house, or I love the house that I have. I love my car. I love, blah, blah, blah. I take vacations every 6 months and I make X amount of dollars. So you can't just write these things down without an emotional feeling tied to it, or behind it. It has to carry emotions. You have to feel it. So it's kind of hard to explain, I guess, but there is a difference, when you're just writing to write, and you're writing and you're envisioning it while you're writing, and you're feeling the feelings that you would feel if you were in that moment of life. And you need to be doing the latter instead of the former, because the latter is so important. Like, all these things are so important, but it is so important because basically think of it like that movie Inside Out. All those little beings inside the girl's head are different emotions. We got joy, we got anger, blah, blah, blah. They're all different emotions, and they all help create memories, or they kind of dictate, their job is to take care of the memories, basically. But the whole thing is they're creating memories, and these memories are based on emotions. So when you're scripting every single day, it's kind of like you're recalling these memories of your life. And it's really hard to recall a memory when there's no emotions tied behind it. The details get fuzzy. And if you've ever tried to remember something where the details are fuzzy, you know it's a struggle. It's like the picture starts to fade. You're like, eventually just like, well, it's something like that. And when you're scripting, you can't just have something like that. You have to be specific. So we need to tie our emotions to these things that we're scripting so that we are creating these memories. And again, your brain doesn't know the difference between what you're telling it and what reality says. So you're creating a new reality in your mind with these emotions and memories and the consistent scripting. And eventually, that stuff is going to become your reality. And no, it's not just poof magic. I know you're probably like, well, how does that work? But it works in various ways. One of them is as that becomes just more of the truth that your brain believes, your brain starts to find ways to make those things happen. It starts to recognize opportunities. It's kind of like that concept of like, you never see red cars on the road. And then you start thinking, oh, I really want a red car. Or you buy a red car. And then all of a sudden, everywhere you look, it's red cars. Red car here, red car there. Everyone has a red car. You're like, where did all these red cars come from? Because that's what your brain has been programmed to see. And so it's kind of like that. When you reprogram your mind, it begins to see opportunities for pathways, basically, for you to achieve those goals. And speaking of goals, this I feel is so important for when you are setting goals. Scripting, that is. Scripting is so important to implement when you're setting goals for yourself, because it's so easy when you write down a list of goals that you want to achieve to then get caught up in the steps that you need to take to achieve those goals. And then it's very easy also to get frustrated because all you see are the steps. But when you script, you're jumping to the end. You're jumping to that goal being accomplished. And so instead of focusing on the steps, you're focusing on you already attaining and accomplishing that goal. And that is where we need to rest when it comes to how we think about our goals. Yes, steps are important, but like I said, your mind is going to find ways to make those things happen. It's not about you being so caught up in step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. It's about you being so caught up in already accomplishing those goals. And the rest is going to work itself out. I want to leave you with one last thing that is important to incorporate when you're scripting. Kind of on brand for me. Definitely on brand for me. And that is affirmations. It's so important to speak or write these positive statements while you're scripting, and to also express your gratitude, but definitely these positive statements of I ams. And so, like, for example, the one I always start my scripting off with, because I want to be a motivational speaker, is I am a highly sought after motivational speaker. And then I keep going in on that. So remember to incorporate positive affirmations in your scripting. Just a real quick recap. Scripting is very important for your life, for accomplishing your goals, and for seeing your vision for your life come to pass. Remember to keep it consistent. Remember to keep it specific. Remember to keep your emotions involved in it. Remember to write affirmations and to express your gratitude. All of these things are important. All of these things are going to help you take your dreams from being just a dream to becoming reality. So I'm going to leave you with that, guys. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. You can find my link in the bio or my handle, and I can further explain this if need be. Until then, guys, please, please, please start incorporating this. I'm telling you, it's life-changing. I do it. Honestly, there are a few days I miss it, but I try to do it at least like 3 to 4 times a week. And I also find that the more I do it, the more the vision starts to unfold even deeper. So maybe at first it's a little less specific, but as I do it consistently, day after day, the vision starts to just become more specific and more real and more detailed, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. So yeah, go do it, guys. I love ya. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.